All right, the stage is set for tonight's NCAA tournament. Of course, Florida and Houston. They'll battle it out in San Antonio, Texas, as the Final Four, as we all know, is unbelievable with all the come-from-behind victories in the semifinals there. And someone who had his team in the tournament, and they did beat Louisville. He's the winningest coach at Creighton. Joins us now. That's Greg McDermott, the head coach here on ESPN 620. Coach, I appreciate it. This is Rock. We met last night along with my partner Manuch and Jimmy B. Thanks so much for joining us. And do you spend some off season here in the Valley?
Yeah, I've had a condo in Fountain Hills since 2008, so I've been coming down here a long time. Don't get down here very much, but someday I will. Yeah, no,
I think it's great.
We read you, Coach.
Yeah. so, Coach, how busy is it for you with this transfer portal? I know you got a couple guys from Iowa, and you're out there. It just seems like it's 24/7. You never really do get a break, do you?
No, it used to be, guys, that once the season was over and you got beat in the tournament or whatever happened, you'd have kind of some time to take a deep breath and relax and give your guys a little bit of time off. But obviously you jump right into the transfer portal. I was working on the transfer portal during the NCAA tournament. I mean, you have to get your team ready and make sure you're ready to go for the first and second round game. But if you're not following up with agents or whatever during that time period before that portal opens, you're going to end up being a couple steps behind when it starts. So it's the unfortunate part of our business is that's kind of where it's landed. Last year it was on the day after Selection Sunday. At least this year they gave us an extra week. But it's fast and furious. It's like speed dating is basically what it is.
That's great. Coach, let me follow up then on what you were just discussing for coaches as well, because sometimes where you land makes the big difference. For an example, we just saw Fran McCaffrey get fired at Iowa. You've gotten a couple of his guys now out of the portal, and then Fran McCaffrey gets hired back in Pennsylvania. When you had your structure and you went to a couple of different schools, why did it work for you so well at Creighton?
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts, we had some success. I had some success as a Division II coach and then at Northern Iowa, and then we really struggled during my 4 years at Iowa State and really weren't able to get it turned around. And I ran into a situation the first year where when I took the job, there was 11 guys on scholarship. 2 weeks later, there was 4. And that was at a time where there was not immediate eligibility. There was not a transfer portal, so you couldn't take transfers that could play right away. So you're trying to put together a team as quickly as you possibly can with what's left out there. And we were able to obviously find some good players. Several of them have played in the NBA, but weren't able to build the program the way we wanted to. And at Creighton, we started in the Missouri Valley my first 3 years here and then made a seamless transition to the Big East. And, the support of the university and our athletic department, investment in facilities and infrastructure, I think has given us a chance to be successful. And then it's just about recruiting the right kinds of people. And, we're a program built on unselfishness and ball movement and playing the game the right way. And there, you find that there's still a lot of guys that really yearn to play in a system like that where the basketball has energy and the basketball moves.
So, Coach, with all that being said, you go into the NCAAs and trying to set your staff and your players. The thing that intrigues me is just the competition during the year, non-conference, and how well you guys played coming down the end to set yourself up. Or when I say set yourself up, you just play it out and just go be who you are and make the adjustments to the opposing team. How have you worked your philosophy going to the NCAAs?
Yeah, I mean, it's always kind of refreshing when you get to play somebody you haven't played before or played in a while. Teams you get in the middle of the conference season, especially in our league where it's a true round robin where you're playing everybody twice. You know each other inside and out. So a lot of your little pet plays that might work in the non-conference portion of the season, you might as well throw them out the window in conference play because people are going to take them away. They really understand the tendencies of your roster, like you understand the tendencies of their personnel. And you get into NCAA tournament play and you find out who you're playing on Sunday night, and Tuesday you're jumping on an airplane to go somewhere to play a game Thursday. So, you're able to, be a little bit more of who you are, and not everything that you're good at is taken away from you. And then you hope you shoot it well. We shot it really well against Louisville, and frankly shot it pretty well against Auburn as well. But the NCAA tournament's just a different animal. The preparation is different, but it's also as good as it gets.
Greg McDermott is our guest, everybody, on the Wright Toyota guest line. So take me to building that program at Creighton. You had your son, Doug, who was Player of the Year, had a sensational college career. Now he plays in the NBA. He's with the Sacramento Kings right now. But you have had success in recruiting top kids. Kalbrenner, the 7-foot center, Ashworth, just on this team as well. How do you sell them on Creighton in Omaha in the Big East?
Well, first of all, unless you've been in Omaha, you don't understand. And I think one of the things that's really been a benefit to us in recruiting is when people get off the plane in Omaha and they see our facilities and they see our campus and they see our city, I think they're pleasantly surprised at what they find. An NBA-style arena that seats 17,300, and we fill it up every single game. We've been in the top 6 in attendance in the country the last 9 or 10 years. So, we constantly have a great fan base. And Omaha is a huge sports town, and we don't have a professional sports team in our state. Obviously, Nebraska football is very popular in the fall, and Creighton basketball in our city is hugely popular. Once October and November roll around until the NCAA tournament is over. So it's a great sports town. People have really supported it, both from a resource standpoint before NIL. And then they've tried to help us at least stay somewhat competitive in the NIL landscape, because in this day and age, you better adjust, you better move, you better figure out best practices, best ways to do it, because it's not like the old days where if your program is going to suffer, it's going to be a slow bleed. It's a situation now where if you don't do things right, your program's going to fall off the cliff, and it's going to happen overnight. So, I think we have the pieces in place at Creighton from our past administration and now this current administration that has allowed us to build a program and then maintain it.
Coach, Saturday was great for fans. I mean, that was great for college basketball. Do you expect a similar type of game tonight that we saw in the 2 on Saturday?
Yes, I do, and it's a unique, I think, experience for fans this year, and that the 4 teams are in terms of the KenPom predictive metrics that's been in existence for a long time. The 4 teams in the Final Four were 4 of the top 10 of all time, and they're all in the Final Four. So you were going to see quality basketball. I had an opportunity to see it firsthand playing Auburn in the second round of the NCAA tournament, just how talented and versatile that team was, and certainly Florida, Houston, and Duke have had tremendous seasons as well. But those were incredible games. Houston, I'm still not sure how they did it, but they figured out a way. And I just think you're going to see an incredible game tonight, and it'll be a chess match because obviously Walter Clayton is playing as good as anybody in the country, and Houston's defense, especially out front, the way they disrupt the basketball and disrupt the flow of your offense is going to be, a fun chess match to watch tonight.
Coach, what do you envision seeing the last 3 minutes of this game? As Rock alluded to, the last 2 games came down to the wire in the Final Four. What do you envision seeing in this game tonight?
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. I really do. I think, Florida is really elite offensively. They've put up, at times some video game numbers in the SEC, which was as good a league as our game has seen in quite some time. But having said that, what Houston did to Tennessee in that first half, totally disrupted a veteran and really talented Tennessee team with their defense. So, defense travels, and so I think it's going to be a really good game, and I think Houston's defense and how well they can slow down the guards for Florida is really going to be critical in this game.
Coach, last one. You've been here in the Valley for a long time. You mentioned your place What is the overall perception of Arizona basketball? We feel as more football, Minucci trains a lot of quarterbacks here. A few of them are in the NFL now. So it's really become a quarterback city in college football. But when you look at it from afar, or even if you're recruiting out here, how is Arizona? Is it improving?
Yeah, we spend a lot of time out here, and I have for quite some time. There's a bunch of young Iowa guys that kind of came out here 15 years ago or so, and kind of were coaching around the valley. So I had some connections with some people out here, so we started coming out here and recruiting a little. And now with the prep schools that have popped up across the city, there's unbelievable talent in the Scottsdale, Phoenix area now in these prep schools. So we're not just me. I think all of the Power 5 schools across the country and mid-majors alike are spending a lot of time in the Valley because they've attracted a lot of really good players with some of these prep schools that have popped up.
Coach, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us today. We really appreciate it. It was last minute when I ran into you. So thanks so much, and good luck to you this upcoming season.
I appreciate it, guys. Anytime. It was great to be with you today.
That's Greg McDermott, head coach at Creighton, winningest coach there. Spent some time here in the Valley, and he could do how do I say that?
Oh, I know where you're going. I know where you're headed.
You have that sly grin on your face.
When you put the dots together, he's been coming to the Valley.
Got a home in Fountain Hill.
But like he said, I mean, he has built Creighton. He's the winningest coach there. Yep. Wherever he's gone, he's had success. Yeah. He's got a really good job there. I mean, Omaha is a great city. If you've never been there, it really, really is. And a quick story at Creighton, or not Creighton, at Omaha. I'll never forget, I went back there for a wedding. And it was Memorial Day weekend, and I had never been to Omaha. And Southwest takes you right in there, right? And I'll never forget, when you land, and this is 15 years ago, when you land, you got to get off the plane outside, and I'll never forget it. A pickup truck comes up, and they put the bags in the pickup truck, and then they take them to the bag check area, right? And I'm like, wow, this is Nebraska, right? And the funniest thing is we're going at, there was no Uber back there, but at the time, and I remember. Excuse me, attention please on the PA system. Attention, Mr. Dan Minucci, your mom is running a little late, but make sure you meet her at gate 3. I'm like, this is great. Oh, but I love Omaha. I really love it. It really is.
I've done a couple games there as well. It is fun.
We appreciate him coming on. Yeah. So we'll come back with more Rock and Minucci with Jimmy B right here from Twin Peaks in Tempe.